the time has come that I share my Reverts story. I've actually got notes with me just so that I remember everything. Okay, so to begin with, I come from a Christian family. I grew up Christian. I grew up going to church every Sunday. My granddad was a vicar, not the weird kind. He was actually an amazing guy. So I kind of always had a belief in God growing up. But then I think as I kind of got a bit older, when I was in school and stuff, I wasn't surrounded by that many people who were religious. Most of my friends weren't. And also just kind of stuff happened in life. I was a bit of a sad gal. And I was kind of like, nah, I don't believe in anything, like, basically, yeah. So, like, when I started looking into Islam, I was kind of, like, in a place of not being religious. So I was first introduced to Islam, like, obviously I knew about Islam, like, I wasn't, like, completely naive to it, but, like, I think when I properly was introduced to it and, like, kind of started even like looking into it basically was 2022. Towards the end ish, I had some friends in work who were Muslim, and then the guy that I was speaking to at the time was also Muslim. Started looking into it from like not like properly, like not like considering it wasn't anything to do with him, like I was just introduced to Islam at that time. Then I was just kind of looking into it like a little bit, but it wasn't like, you know, that serious. I just kind of started learning more about it basically. Then one of my friends reverted and he was like, I think that you might revert. I think it might happen for you. And I was like, okay, interesting. Still didn't really properly start looking into it, but then started looking into it a little bit more. Well, I feel like once you start looking into Islam, like, I feel like you can't go back. Like, I started looking and I was like, okay, I can't stop now. I just have to keep going. Okay, so yeah, I was like kind of looking into it, but again, not that seriously, but I kind of started a general betterment journey of myself, one might say. Like, I kind of turned my life around a little bit, started figuring out what I wanted, and like locking in. I cut off some people, I ghosted social media and like pretty much everyone for a while and just like locked in. I basically got just to know who I was, essentially, which that's a whole other video I can talk about. Then I was kind of like, it was like I believed in God, but I wasn't sure like from where, like who, like I wasn't sure which religion. I was kind of like, I kind of went back to Christianity for a little bit. I kind of just started getting more religious, but I was just really confused about like, whether I wanted to be Christian or Muslim. Like I was just like, what's even going on really? My boyfriend at the time was a very strong Christian. I was continuing to look into Islam. Nothing makes me feel the way that Islam does. Like nothing makes me as emotional. I would just get this feeling that I wouldn't get from Christianity and I just wouldn't get from anything else. And Islam seems to do, like, I can't even explain it. Like it just seemed to like wash over me. Then my relationship ended for multiple reasons, but one of them being I was kind of getting closer to Islam and I was like, if I think this is probably going to be part of my future, and obviously he was Christian, so I was like, this isn't going to work. Then I actually did Ramadan in 2020. We're talking about 2023 now. I did Ramadan. I was feeling super close to reverting at the time. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm ready. Then, like, after Ramadan, this is shaitan now. Like, I was like, I'm so confused. Like, I want to revert, but I'm kind of scared. I'm still sinning. I'm scared that what I want from life isn't going to align with Islam. I'm scared that some of my other views don't align with Islam and I'm not good enough. And basically a bunch of that. And I was just kept holding back for a really long time. I basically then was kind of like at a point where in my head and my heart, I was like, okay, I know that I'm going to be Muslim at some point. After finding out so much about Islam and connecting to it in this way, I cannot ever see myself going back to Christianity or anything else. So it was kind of either being Muslim or like nothing. But I just couldn't Like, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I don't know why, what was holding me back, but it was just all these little things, and I was just like, oh, I'm not ready, I can't do it. So I was just being held back for ages, basically. Then I went to Morocco, and I don't even think, obviously it's like a Muslim country, but I don't even think it was the fact that it was a Muslim country. I think it was just the time for me. I was out there and I saw a TikTok talking about the Day of Judgment and how like there's been signs and stuff like that, and I just watched it and I kept watching it over and over again. And I was just sat there like, I was like, I cannot die and not be Muslim. Like, I do not know what came over me, but I was just like, I cannot die and not be Muslim. I can't do it. I have to be Muslim. Like, I don't know. I was like just super scared. I was like, what if I die and I'm not Muslim? Like, I can't do that. I have to be Muslim. And then I was like sat out on the balcony, like in Morocco. I was just kind of sat there and I just kept crying. I just started crying and I couldn't stop. I was just crying and crying and crying, and I was like, I have to revert. Like, this is the time. It's now. I need to do it. I really, really need to do it. So then I got back home a few days later, and I was due to go away in a week, and I was like, I need to do it now. I need to do it before I go away. I have to just do it. So I went. I went to a local mosque with my friend, and I reverted. Alhamdulillah. Went away like a few days later. So then I was just Muslim, like a completely fresh Muslim in a brand new country. Like, what am I doing? Like, just a lot was going on, a lot was new. And yeah, that's basically my full revert story. Obviously, so I've reverted like a few months ago. So I'm just learning every single day. I feel like I had signs for a while, like within like 2022, and then like when I reverted, like within that time, I just felt like there was so many people who came into my life to show me Islam. Islam just made me feel something that nothing else does. I also looked into like the scientific miracles and stuff like that, because I am a person who likes facts and I like evidence to back up points. I find it really hard to just follow something once. Like, if someone just tells me something, I'm like, okay, but where's your proof? Like, where's your evidence? Why do you think that? Blah, blah, blah. So that really helped me as well, kind of looking into the scientific miracles, and kind of Islam just aligns with everything. Because I was kind of spiritual for a little bit at one point as well. Not a full crystal girly, but like I was a bit of a spiritual, like I kind of looked into that. And I also looked into Buddhism. I went around the block. I feel like Islam kind of touches on like every aspect of life. Like, it touches on a bit of spirituality. It looks after your body, it looks after your mind, it looks after your health. Like, so that is my revert story. Don't know what else to say, to be honest with you. There we go. Revert story complete.